What is cracking, you guys? This is the Art of Partnerships, episode 2. I'm Mario Arroyo, agent extraordinaire. Right here we got
Kevin Brady, and very happy to introduce our guest for episode 2, Sean Mckeever. I had the pleasure of partnering with Sean on an Air B&B opportunity. Not just some ordinary opportunity or Airbnb, but a boat. Sean presented me the opportunity to buy a boat that wasn't running, fix it up, and then Airbnb it.
Yep.
very nice.
Another reason why we wanted to bring Sean on, not just because he partnered with me on the Airbnb, but Sean is very successful with his financial planning business and owns an elderly care business as well.
Nice.
So Sean, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Everybody, my name is Sean. I've known Kevin for quite a few years. I'm from Long Beach, California. The way that I got into this was because of Kevin. I mean, I would have never been able to or even willing to go and take that risk to go and purchase this boat for Airbnb if I didn't know that Kevin was going to be able to go and, help me out with it, back me up, put the extra money in so that we can go and complete this.
Right on.
Because I know that's a big worry about people that they have is that, how am I going to do this? I mean, I have this idea. I know this idea is going to work, but how does it make sense? Can I go and put this money up? Does it make sense for me to put this money up? And that's what the biggest value of partnership is knowing that I have money, he has money, I can do this, he can do this. And when you have that relationship, and it may make all the difference.
Right on, man. Hey, well, guys, cheers to that really quick. That was a very hell of an introduction, Sean. And, that's what this podcast is all about. Just partnering with people that are looking for an opportunity, but might not have the means in order to begin that opportunity. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I commend you for reaching out to him, and I commend you for actually jumping on it. So cheers to you guys. Definitely.
Thank you.
And the value of where that's at right now, Sean and myself, we have a boat, an Airbnb rental that's bringing in $1,000 a month.
Nice.
So through this partnership, we're both getting $500 a month and 85% passive. And
That's for my car note.
There you go.
Exactly. And that's what we're hoping to do with future viewers, future audience members who reach out to us.
Absolutely. And like I said, that's what this is all about, just bringing that partnership together. Man, I'm excited to hear what you got to say, man. That's something that you guys definitely thought outside the box for this. I mean,
for sure.
People do Airbnb on condos, on real estate, on houses. You guys did a boat.
Exactly. That's very cool, man. So
with that said, let's get into it.
What brought you guys together?
Yeah, I'll start that off. Sean actually was in the same grade as my younger brother from kindergarten.
Okay.
So we've known each other for quite a long time here. I've seen Sean grow up. Like I said, him and my brother were best friends from elementary all the way through high school.
Yeah.
Then Sean and I kind of reconnected, just a couple of years ago, I want to say, maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yep.
Reconnected, I saw that he was in financial planning.
Nice.
He had some real estate related questions. We met up, and next thing you know, we were joint venturing on different businesses together.
Nice. Actually, I remember one of those real estate ventures. One over here that we got into in Long Beach, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I remember I helped a little bit on the marketing on that and stuff like that.
That's
yeah,
right.
Cool, man.
Right.
So, no, definitely, it's always good when two old friends. I mean, I guess you guys kind of both go your separate directions, and then eventually, life finds you reconnecting, and then making a positive impact on something. So
it's crazy.
Sean, I mean, so what's your kind of story to that? You and Kevin meeting up, kind of the same thing, or?
Yeah, it was pretty random actually. Like you said, I had a couple of real estate related questions, and I saw he was doing really well with mortgages, and I was like, man. It's crazy. I was going to go talk to him. Huh? Yeah, I got to pick his brain a little bit. Because I was like, is he really doing as good as I think he's doing? So I went and started talking to him. And yeah, man, he's doing really good. So we started talking, started spitballing some ideas. And it was like a month later, we were in Arizona at a senior living convention in Scottsdale.
Nice.
In Scottsdale, huh?
In Scottsdale, yeah.
That sounds like a fun town.
Well, the after parts was more fun than the convention. That's for sure.
There you go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love those conventions, man, where they just randomly put them in Vegas or Miami and stuff like that. Right? I mean, you get the value, but at the same time, you get the fun too.
Yeah,
know?
right.
So
Definitely.
It's pretty cool, man. So
work hard, play hard, right?
So is that where you guys actually like really kind of got back into it as far as maybe I don't know, just kind of rubbing elbows again?
Yeah, I would say so. When we met up the first time, we started chatting and we realized we were both looking into elderly care homes as a real estate investment opportunity.
Right.
So once we realized that, we looked online, found a convention out there in Arizona, and headed out there about a month later.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great experience out there. And while we were out there, we actually stayed at an Airbnb. That's how it started.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We stayed at an Airbnb, and this one was unique. It was a single family home, and they were renting out each room to different guests.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, it was each room had its own lock and its own check-in system, and the common areas were shared by everyone. So through there is where Sean actually started. We started talking more about the Airbnb idea, the model, especially that unique model. That was interesting because the houses out there, they don't cost that much.
Oh no, absolutely not.
And we were starting to do the numbers on what these owners were bringing in from Airbnb in each room.
Right.
And it was unlike anything we had ever seen before.
Look at that.
Yeah. And next, Sean, I mean, so this whole thing, what Sean and I invested in was a boat.
Right.
We bought a boat in Newport Beach and started Airbnb.
Let's rewind a little bit though.
Yeah.
How'd you guys find the boat?
Sean?
So I always had like this crazy idea of wanting to live on a boat, right? And, but I was like, man, I don't know how that really works. And then so one day I was on like OfferUp or 5 Mile, and I was checking out like things, see there's boats for sale, and I saw this boat for sale, and I was like, man, like this seems cool, but I don't know if I want to go and take that big of a risk putting up the money. Like, what if it doesn't work out?
Right.
With the slip fee and everything. So then I remembered Kevin saying, hey man, let's open up an Airbnb. So I called them up. I think I was actually at Long Beach City College at the time. I was like in between classes, called them up, and I was like, hey, Kevin, I got this idea. Like, what do you think of this? And then, yeah, man.
Wow. Keep in mind, this was a boat that he found on OfferUp that didn't run. And it was made very clear that this thing would never run.
Let me ask you a question. Let's get into the numbers a little bit. What'd you guys buy that for?
So we got the boat. So we got 2 boats. We got the working boat. We got a little motorboat that came with it, and then we got the big boat for like $3,700.
The little motorboat's that little.
It's a little inflatable that has the
test motor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of control it with your arm and all that.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly. We had a good time with that.
Yeah,
right on. And so you said $3,700.
$3,700, but that wasn't the final numbers. Next thing I started fixing a bunch of stuff on there, and
so we flipped the boat.
You did a remodel.
Yeah,
we did a remodel.
Exactly.
Complete rehab.
Complete gut. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Someone that's coming from a real estate background, just to think about like, who the hell thinks about flipping a boat?
Nobody in the right mind, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, that's very interesting concept.
Yeah, and I mean, flipping. We didn't even get the boat to run. It still doesn't run to this day. It'll never run. That's
doesn't need to.
Clear. Doesn't need to.
It floats.
Exactly.
That's what's important.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And so final numbers after the reno and after the so let's talk about the slip fee. A lot of people don't know this, but you have to pay a monthly fee.
Oh, of course,
to have your boat docked right there.
Mm-hmm.
In Newport Beach, it's pretty pricey. $900 a month.
So you guys got that thing in Newport Beach, and that's $900.
$900 a month.
Yeah.
Wow. So you definitely need to make sure that thing is rented out a certain amount of days in order to come out positive.
Right, and we have to make it look nice, which is why we put the money in to renovate the whole boat. So total costs about $10K.
About $10,000 to do the full rehab?
About $10K with the price of acquisition. So rehab being around $6K.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. That's not too well. I mean, a boat's not that huge either.
It's about a 32-foot boat.
Yeah.
Which means you guys did put in some. I mean, you guys did it correctly. You guys did it right.
We did.
So right on, man. So all in. So we're talking about the boat, the rehab. We're talking about $10,000 investment.
Correct.
To get started, and then we got a $900 slip fee every month.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my mind, this probably wasn't a slam dunk just to start right off the bat, right?
No.
What were some struggles in order to get this thing off the ground?
Well, let's talk initially. That 10,000 initial investment. Sean knew that there would be some costs in terms of renovation, right? He knew it wouldn't just be 3,700 out the door and he can start running this Airbnb. 10,000 for one person, that's a lot of money.
That's for sure.
A big risk.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made him come to me, or at least pitch the idea to me even more.
You're right.
You minimize your risk by 50% there, right? And,
Absolutely.
and Sean, I might not have had the full 10,000. So that's where he came to me. I was more than happy to put up the 5,000. He showed me numbers. He showed the possibility.
And if I'm gonna take a quick guess, not to interrupt you, did Kevin even look at the boat before he gave you the money?
Oh shit, dude! He was in Mexico when I went and purchased the boat.
There's no damn way he looked at it.
I never looked at it. I wired him the money, and I just said,
Just for everybody out there, Kevin is a complete numbers guy. This guy doesn't need to look at a house. He doesn't need to look at the boat. If the numbers make sense, Kevin is moving.
That's money. It makes
it's
sense.
that simple.
Exactly. There's flips and real estate deals that I've seen once in my life, and I've had it for years. So
Absolutely. And I only brought that up because I was pretty sure, from my experience, working with him, flipping properties and stuff like that. I know that Kevin buys stuff and he'll look at it through pictures, and pictures are sometimes good enough for him. And he's like, okay, so, let's look what's the pickup price that we're getting it? What's the rehab price? Okay, and then the comps make sense in order to sell it at a profit. Let's do it.
exactly.
Here he is cutting a check.
Exactly.
So, you gotta. At the end of the day, reading the numbers is at the end of the day that's all that makes sense, and that's all that really matters. So
The numbers don't lie. People do.
numbers don't lie. People lie. Men lie. Women lie. Numbers don't.
And you're saying that your accounting degree didn't come into play. It didn't come in handy.
Maybe it did a little. I just think naturally I was born a numbers guy.
Right.
I like math. I like the numbers. I have no creativity in terms of staging a home, remodeling the home. I leave that up to my partners.
Exactly. That's very interesting. It's funny. Right now you said you like math, and I saw Moses back here kind of turn around like what?
Who likes math?
Yeah, man. That's very rare. So and that's very cool. That actually at the end of the day, that's what makes it easy to work with someone like you, like myself, is that we don't get all wrapped up in what the project actually is. We just get what our stance is like. Hey. We know how to systemize a business. We know how to actually, run a business and stuff like that. You have the concept. Do you have the know-how? So something we'll get into right now as far as the Airbnb goes. Do you have the know-how? Okay, we got the money. So, and that's actually a very good concept. Very perfect example as far as Kevin coming in, putting up the funds, and you running the show. So with that being said, just kind of rewinding back to my initial question, so Kevin over here, it made sense. He decided to move forward. What are some issues that came across?
Well, for one thing, we don't take into account is when you're on the water, the biggest thing is making sure that you're keeping the water out. And that was something that, we don't think about that.
Yeah, you never want water to get in the boat.
We had never owned a boat either of us, so we weren't really sure. To be completely honest, I wasn't aware of a slip fee. That's how naive I was to everything. I'm not kidding. I was unaware that you had actually paid. I was unaware that the boat hooks up to the dock there for electricity and all that. That's how much I knew about boats.
Yeah, you just park it wherever you want.
Never had a boat.
That's funny, man. But no, that's. So I'm sure you did a lot of the digging. So and I know that from my experience as well. With the properties is that. I do a lot of the legwork, and then that's how me and Kevin came about. And then next thing now we're investors together. But nevertheless, is that this guy, he just wants to know, hey, look, is it moving forward?
With Sean, something that I told him is this. If we ever needed more money in the future, that would be my role.
Right.
To put up the money in case there was repairs that had to be done, maintenance, anything like that. And in return, he did the legwork.
Right. And with that being said, you doing the legwork, what was something that probably came about that maybe you had to bring to him and be like, hey, man, we got an issue?
Well, So that the 10,000 wasn't one chunk up front. It was little things. Like you said, what issues do we have? It was water coming in from the outside dripping in when it started to rain. It was things like that. We had to go and rip out carpet. We had to go and rip out the beds, put new beds in, things like that. So it started just adding up. Then we had to go and start demoing and painting and doing all those things. So that's when like, hey, Kevin, we got this. Hey, we got this. We got this. The water pump blew out. The sink's not working. Things, just like little things start to...
So out the door, we initially estimated about $6K in total, right? And that turned to $10K very quickly. And that extra essentially came from me financing in return, and the return value was Sean putting in the legwork.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, he leverages the money. You leverage the foot power. Someone actually on the ground working everything. Doing everything that needs to be done.
Exactly.
And what were some numbers that you guys were looking to get out of this? What was the return, the ROI that you guys wanted? For those that don't know, ROI is return on investment. So Kevin comes in, he invests $10,000. What number is he looking back from that?
Yeah, I'll start with that. Our main thing was cash flow. We wanted passive cash flow.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is doing nothing or as little as possible.
Sleeping
and still getting money in our bank account every month.
It doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't. And although that slip fee is $900, although we put all that money up front, this is Newport Beach. This is by the bay right there. If you were to, people book our boat because of where it's located.
Oh,
because of that view. Everything. The sunset, to this day, I haven't seen a sunset better than the sunsets I've seen.
I love
right there on that boat.
Yeah, I love it. For someone that didn't even look at it before buying it, he sounds very passionate after with the end result. So that's something that, dude. I mean, it's something that I know you're very happy partnering. And at the end of the day, what we're getting to now is it became very successful.
Yep.
So I guess kind of getting into it a little more. Just a quick question as far as like what is the best month you guys had now? As of late, just or actually since you've had it, what was the best month as far as positive cash flow goes?
We had somebody that came from Australia, and he actually lived on the boat for over a month.
He lived on it.
He lived on it. And it's not at that point when you're on there for over a month. That's not even staying. He lived on it. He lived on it for I think it was 45 days.
But it was still via Airbnb.
Via Airbnb.
Okay.
Yep. So I think that one we netted. I was like close to $2,000 is what we actually pocketed.
Yeah, that's profit. Profit. $2,000.
Dude, that is damn, dude. Let's buy some boats.
Right.
And so that's
cool, man.
And in terms of expenses, we're talking about the slip fee.
Right.
And then we have a cleaning crew that comes in after every guest as well.
But that $2K, just to be clear, was untouched profit.
Yep.
Like after every expense.
After every expense. And the great thing about that guy from Australia is, well, we didn't have to clean the boat daily or every 2 days.
Right.
Because he stayed on it long term.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, exactly. So that kind of definitely helps supplement the cost as well, as far as expenses go. And I don't know anything to add to that. So was that probably the absolute best month? Then?
That was definitely the best month. But coming forward, I would say in September, October, I have a couple college students that are going to be staying on there. Well, there's 2 of them are trying to decide, but someone's actually planning on staying for a few months.
Nice.
And so I'm sure that one's going to be just as nice.
Nice. Yeah. So something like that. What is there? If that's $2,000 in profit, I'm assuming that you grossed somewhere north of
3,500. 3,500, right. And on average, let's just take an average month where we don't have someone from Australia staying there a long period. We're making about 1,000
profit.
1,000 profit
every month.
Every month.
Man, dude, that is crazy. For those that don't know, some people buy a house that's worth $350,000, $400,000 to profit $300 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
These guys came in with $10,000 and they're profiting $1,000 a month on average.
Yeah.
Dude, that ROI is ridiculous.
Well, look at the numbers on it. I mean, everybody tries to go and they go and they risk their money in the stock market, right, to get an 8% return. But here, if you look at it, you're getting close to almost 100% return.
Right.
Easily. Yeah, it's easy.
And in terms of Airbnb, people are looking for an experience these days. And that's why the boat books.
Right.
is because it is an experience. How many people can say they've slept on a boat?
That's true, man. Very much.
How many people could say they slept on a boat in Newport Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on our Airbnb, on our booking site
Right.
page, we have pictures of the sunset. That is the main thing that we're taking pictures of.
Yeah.
Of course.
Selling the experience, and people are paddleboarding out there, kayaking.
Nice, man.
We've done it ourselves out there. We've taken the what do you call that little boat that we have?
Dinghy.
The dinghy,
Yeah.
the motorized dinghy, and we've gone across the bay to a bar, and we've ate
Yeah.
and had a great time and dinghied back, and that's what our
That's
guests
badass,
that's
man.
what our guests are doing,
Yeah.
and,
Right.
and having a great time doing it. It's an
Oh,
experience.
dude. Yeah, that's super experience. Especially, I mean, you mentioned someone from Australia. You know, that sounds like something a tourist that maybe wants to spend a little less than staying in an Airbnb that's in a condo in Newport, or something like that. Because I imagine getting a house would be very costly in a location such as that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you get people that I guess backpack in Europe and stuff like that in order to save money. This is someone that's that they're on vacation, or maybe they're at a convention or something like that, and they want to stay in a nice place, but they don't really, they don't want to spend all that money getting into a condo or a house in Newport Beach. And then not only that, they're getting a fully remodeled boat,
Yeah.
a boat in a prime location. And like you just said, something to where they can get the dinghy, go across the bay, go to the bars, come back, crash. Dude, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
So the value is there for the client. The value is definitely there for the investor. It's a win-win scenario.
And even the dinghy, that's an extra cost to that Airbnb guest.
Oh,
why?
nice.
Because it's extra liability for us.
Absolutely.
We have them sign an extra waiver if they choose to rent out the dinghy.
Okay.
And
Right.
and like I said, it's an extra cost because it's more liability for us, and we don't know the damage that could be done to that dinghy. So
Absolutely.
We don't
take
even
that.
count in the cost of the profit of the Airbnb. We don't even take into account what the cost of the dinghy rent is.
Exactly.
Oh,
Because
I
they
see.
use different sites for that, so that's completely
exactly.
separate.
Exactly.
So if that Australia guy, did he actually rent the dinghy or no?
No, that was
Okay.
just 100% the boat.
But that means just for whoever, that obviously that was a long-term stay. So whoever's there for maybe a weekend or something like that, odds are they're probably going to rent it.
right, and we're
Yeah.
gonna make more money on that.
Exactly.
It about doubles the price.
Right on. So what is the peak season for you guys? Is it the summer? Is it spring?
Right
now.
Right
So
now.
right now is peak season. And let me ask you guys, if I wanted to rent it for Friday to Sunday, what are you guys charging on that?
We actually just rose the prices, so it's going to cost you after cleaning fee close to about $200 a night.
Okay, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's people think, wow, a boat for $200.
Yeah,
Like I said, you take into account location and the experience.
location and experience.
And like I said, I'll say it again, the experience that you're gonna have staying on there,
yeah,
it's gonna be one that you remember forever.
right on. So circling back, Sean, what was your experience partnering with Kevin on a business venture like this?
Like you said, the funniest part was I remember I gave him a call,
Yeah.
and it was like, I don't think it was even noon yet. Hey, Kevin, we got a boat. Kevin, woohoo! He's already had some margaritas down in Mexico, and he's and he's like,
guy
awesome,
loves his
man. Yeah,
tequila."
good shit, dude. I'll come back on whatever Monday or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
I'll see it. So then I was like, dude, I'm gonna go stay on this boat right now. So I went,
Yeah.
so brought some friends over. They were fishing and grilling on the boat. So that
you
was
go.
cool. But
Yeah.
one of the cool things is like knowing that if something happens, like, I put my money in, I put my time in, but it's also good to know is that if something happens, Kevin is going to come back and he's going to put his money into. And
Absolutely.
that's
Right.
good to know that you have that in your back pocket. If you need it, you got it.
Yeah, and definitely Kevin is someone that acknowledges there's going to be times where things don't always go according to plan, so that's something that as investors Kevin and I were always aware of, is that things go wrong. Not everything is a slam dunk, but in the world of entrepreneurship, we're problem solvers.
Right.
So whether that problem could be solved with sweat equity, money, that's at the end of the day, it comes down to problem solving.
Right.
So that's pretty cool then, so something that you guys kind of thought outside the box, stumbled across an idea. It was literally an idea and you took action on it, and I know everyone has once had an idea and probably didn't take action on it.
Exactly.
And then next thing you know, you see someone that actually did take action on it.
Right.
And you're a little pissed off.
Right.
Yep.
You're a little pissed off and you're like, dude, you know, this was my idea. You know what I mean? So I commend and I applaud you guys for actually moving forward and doing something and you didn't sleep on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and that's what we're hoping to achieve with this podcast once again.
absolutely.
For our audience members, for our viewers, if you have a business idea or something you want to get off the ground, reach
Right.
out to us.
Absolutely.
Because if the numbers make sense, we're most likely going to partner with you.
If it makes money, it makes sense.
And that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for that barber that's great at what he does, who is looking to start his own barbershop, but might
Right.
not have the initial funds.
Right.
We're looking for that guy who has the great real estate opportunity, either a house that he knows is going to cash flow, a boat that he knows is going to cash flow, maybe a flip that he needs the funds for and knows will provide a good return. Those are the people we're looking to partner with there.
Absolutely. It can be absolutely anything. You know, it's something to where if there's a market for it, if there's people buying it, and there's an initial investment that you're having issues with, that's what we're here for. Yeah. You know, so we're not looking for the next innovative piece. We're not looking for the next, Elon Musk or anything like that. We're looking for someone that knows how to do something very well, or they see something where there's an opportunity in the marketplace and we could take advantage of that.
We're hoping that that's our viewers, our audience members. That's the point of this podcast, to gain an audience and viewers who are entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Or have that mindset and have the idea, and hopefully they'll reach out to us.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're looking for. And, people like Sean is definitely something to where it can easily be one of you guys watching this right now.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I'm Mario Arroyo. You can find me at Agent Extraordinaire on Instagram. Reach out to me if you have any questions, if there's anything that you want to propose, you want to have a private, confidential meeting with Kevin and myself. We're more than happy to do that. Kevin, where could they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram as well, at Senor Brady. And with that said, this is the Art of Partnerships, and we're looking to partner with you.